Hello everyone, this is Jim from International Camera Techs, and we are going to go ahead and put this lens back together. If you've watched my previous videos, I've took this lens apart and showed you some of my markings, and now we're going to put it back together and get it all working, and someone's going to have a nice lens. So this is the 35mm. It's a f2. And there's not really much to it. We're just going to grease it up. We're going to line up all the marks, and we're going to get this lens going. So my first thing to do is to go ahead and get these helicoids all greased. Now I've cleaned them all up. I mean, you don't need to see that, it's kind of boring. So what I tend to do is just get a little bit on my Q-tip, and I just try and paint the helicoid threads with the grease. I try to actually push it down into the threads. That way it's getting all the way to the bottom. You just don't have your grease just sitting on the top ready to be pushed out the other end. So it goes pretty quick, doesn't take too much. All right, now these are where marks are important. Add my little V mark, and that is now needing a plus mark. Right there, there's my plus. When I took it apart, I told you really this one's not all that important. There's only, I think, one starting point anyways. But when you have multiple, it can be important, and honestly, it just saves time. I don't have to search for where it's supposed to go in. I automatically know where it goes in, and I just run it back and forth, let the grease all spread itself, and there I am. I got my two V's all lined up. Hope you can see that. My depth is correct. And so I know this is in the right spot. I am putting lube in here. I'm not putting too much lube. Too much lube can be just as bad as not having enough. So, put my lube in there, got a nice little coating. And then this guy here is going to need a little bit of a coating too. It's not a very big helicoid, but this is going to go together quick and easy. And this will be in one piece and no time. Right, so once again, I have my two marks. There's my V's, and there is my plus. So I just mark, line my plus. I heard it click, which I know everything just fell in. Boom, no guesswork. I don't have to measure any heights. I know all my heights. Boom, it's all set. I'm ready to put in my keys, my helicoids in one place. Now on the keys, I like to put in a heavier grease. My grease of choice is this moly grease. And what I tend to do is on my moly grease is take a Q-tip and I break it, because this is thick enough where it'll start pulling the hairs off the Q-tip. So I put a little in there. I know it looked like a big blob, but I didn't leave a whole lot. Still have a lot of my Q-tip. Same thing with this one. This is a moly grease. I got it from Nikon at one time, but you can get some really good moly grease from Nye, which is NYE. They have a very nice moly instrument grease. I've been using that, and it is been working extremely well. So, put my key in. Go ahead. Start tightening one side down. It feels just really nice now. Instead of that dry, grabby, loose, tight feel, let's get a nice even feel to it. Okay, so once I get two, I just kind of snug them both up. You don't want to tighten one down. You tighten one down, the other one may not be in exactly straight, but they both are in there and they both feel nice. They're snugged right now. Just go ahead and tighten them down. You can see I'm not tightening them too tight. You really don't have to. All right, so that's all set. So I get my marks. Easily and simply know where this is going to go. The focus stop is going to hit here. So we know that's going to be my focus ring, and I remember it came out from the front. So I put it in, march with the dots, put your screws in. 3 little conical head screws. There's one. These are very light. I just snug them. don't tighten this stuff real tight. Just break things, strip things out, and a strip screw doesn't do you any good whatsoever. Okay, so that's all in. Now, just to cover everything up, I'm going to go ahead and put it in my focus ring. So that's going to sit in here, and it hits the stop. See, stop. It's got a big key inside here. Dunk, dunk. So it comes over and just smacks it. This ring goes in. I'm not worried about focus right now. It is not an issue. As soon as I get ready to put the front element in, the rear sections all put together, then I'll go ahead and start worrying about focus. Go ahead, put a screw in, then tighten it. That one in, then tighten it. The last one in, and tighten that one. There we go. Nice, so I got one tight, two loose. You're gonna have to adjust it, you're gonna have to move it. All right, so now we have to put the next step, which is to get the f-stop ring on. Get you out, this guy out. F-stop ring, use a little bit of lube on it. Okay, the rub part is not down here. That is where the click spring goes. So the click spring does need a little more grease. And so I like to put a little of this moly grease, a little bit thicker, right where the click stop would go. And that's right here where you see a little wear and tear. So let's get some nice grease on that. The rest of the ring can use a nice light coating of grease. And it just sits on this little rim right here where I'm putting it. Don't have to slop it all around. It doesn't have to go down here or anything. It's just excess grease waiting to go someplace where you don't want it to go. Okay, and we know that ring, that click stop. There's your little click stop there. Hope you can see it. And it's got to match up with this. So we put that in and we find it, and of course those front won't stop because there's no stopper in it yet. Feels good. Okay. This ring goes in next. I like to lube this down here just a little bit. That gives this ring something to be lubed with. If that's correct English. I just do the outside a little bit. Put a very light lube on it. And you'll have some rub in here, so you want to get right in here too. It's a cam. It's a cam for your diaphragm. You can kind of put it there, but it's really not going to work when you'll find out when you put the mount on, because this little pin won't run in there. It'll run elsewhere. That won't work right. So we'll put this in here. Okay. And this will act as the stops when I get to the end. Boom, stops. So it's stopping right there. Okay. I tend to put it F22. Doesn't matter where you put it, as long as you remember where you're putting it. So this coupler, little cutout here, it's going to go right around the little diaphragm kicker. So just go, aim for it, boom, no problem, it's in. This back and forth, great, you're all done. 3 screws, in it goes. So these had glue on them. I don't tend to mess with glue. I don't re-glue them because usually they're just fine when they go in. I've never had one back out, so I never really worry about it. Second. And the third. Look like a Q-tip fluff here, I can see. Get that out of there. Okay, so that works. Diaphragm's opening and closing it. Nice. My next thing I need to do is put my front element in. Okay, a little bit of air. It's gonna make a nasty little noise. Sorry about the noise if it gets too loud. Just check that, make sure I didn't get any dust. And voila. Comes down, tighten it. Okay, so many of you will get to here and it won't go to infinity. Well, this f-stop ring is not set, so it's just kind of hitting probably the internal works of the lens. Just don't do it very tight. It's not a big deal. So you're gonna basically come up, you're gonna loosen your screw, you're gonna rotate this to stop Here, click or snap. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and run a really quick infinity test on it. I'll do that off camera. If you want to see it, maybe I'll show you what I do infinity test. I use my nice little F3 here. It's great for running infinity. It's right on the money. It's got a great viewfinder. Love the F3. So I'm going to put that on, take that outside, and I am going to run a nice infinity test on this thing and make sure it comes to infinity. Lens now set to infinity. I do have a collimator on it, but only time I use a auto collimator is when I have issues with my camera, and I'm not seeing any issue when I was focusing this, so there's no reason for me to run to an auto collimator. Okay, so we don't break focus. What I tend to do is put a little bit of red glue on the screws. Okay, just a little bit. Just want a little dab on it, on each screw. That way they don't back out, you don't lose your focus, and this is, you take the stuff off easily with alcohol. So, out it goes. Let's see. There's a few more things to do. First of all, we go ahead and put the filter ring on, screw it down. These are always kind of a pain. That's where the dimple is. So when I put my set screw, which is going to go through here, it should be into this dimple. Dimple sometimes is difficult to find. This one gives me room, and I can actually put a little bit of a mark right there. So I know when I tighten this ring down, if my set screw hole lines up with that mark, I know I'm going to go right into the middle of that dimple. I don't have to check it or look at. This one was easy. This is a nice lens. It's just a simple, basic lens. Nothing too thrilling. Later we'll do a lot more complicated lenses. Set screw in, make sure it's tight. This may be where I differ from everybody, is that after I put a set screw in, I come back and I got paint on me, yeah. I set that set screw with a little bit of black paint. Boom, done. That paint, if you ever see that set screw, it makes it look much better. The other thing is it actually seals that screw in there. That screw is not going to back out. The next ring, this outside ring here, put that on. There it is, clicked. Screw it all the way down. A little bit of tightness. Didn't squeeze too tight, because once again, you squeeze stuff really tight, and threads can bind up more than actually thread on. It's because you just distort the barrel. You distort the barrel, put pressure on the threads underneath it, and nothing goes. All right, so essentially, I don't have my cement here right now, but I would put this on. I'm going to put on a little bit of cement, and essentially we will clean this thing up real quick, and we should be done. And go. I'm going to do some of these, make them nice and bright and shiny. That just makes it nice and clean. This is the little things that customers love. Have a nice shiny lens back. I'm going to sell this one. I don't need it. It's a good little lens. Someone will be very happy to have it. Looked at one point, it may have taken a little bit of corrosion, so I'm just going to hit that and take some corrosion off. This little white powdery stuff, it's not a big deal. So it's just maybe someone had it around some salt, like seawater, some salt deposits. But other than that, the lens is in fantastic condition. There you go. I'll finish the front element, clean that all up, get all the little marks off it, and have some glue on it. That's pretty much it. I pretty much thank you for watching. This was a nice little lens to do. We put up for sale. Someone will love it. I don't need it. I got a few of them. So everybody take care, and thank you for watching.